Coming to you from his downtown Denver studio, here's the Backstage Jazz Radio Show with your host, Steve Roby.
Welcome, friends at home and friends in the studio. This is Steve Roby, and you're listening to the Backstage Jazz Show. My guest today is musician, bandleader, and composer Reid Poole. We'll discuss his music and upcoming show at Dazzle on November 8th. Welcome to Backstage Jazz, Reid.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. Well, let's start off with a brief overview of your musical career and who were some of your influences.
My musical career, I'm originally from Colorado Springs, but I have some degrees from University of Northern Colorado and then also the Eastman School of Music. I toured with the Glenn Miller Orchestra for about a year and saw the world. That was pretty awesome.
Nice.
For the last 10 years, I've been in New Orleans as a band leader and kind of just freelancing with some of the best and brightest that New Orleans has to offer, which is a lot. Yeah, I miss it dearly, but I just moved back to Colorado, and I'm happy to be back here with my mentors and some of the great musicians here. So, yeah.
Can you talk about some of maybe your early musical influences?
Sure.
What sparked your interest to become a musician?
Definitely, I'm a trumpet player, so definitely the greats got me. I would have to say that some of my first favorites were Clifford Brown and Clark Terry. I've definitely been a Louis Armstrong fanatic for the last 15, 20 years. So I'd say he's my number one, along with Roy Ridge and some of those older guys that have a lot of soul.
You sent over some music to share with our listeners, and we're going to hear a song called Fidgety Feet from the album Something Like That. What can you tell us about this track and the album?
This was not our latest release, but the one before. While I was living in New Orleans, I was playing with some of my best friends and also some of the greatest musicians I've ever played with, some Grammy winners, including Miles Lyons on trombone on this one is a good feature, as well as the Preservation Hall touring drummer, Glenn Finster Andrews. So this is just a traditional number, and I think it's a really hot tune as far as New Orleans traditional music goes.
And the group you're playing with on this album is the Dinosaur Orchestra, if I got that right?
It's called Dinosaur Orchestra.
Dinosaur Orchestra. All right. So let's give that a listen to now. The track's called Fidgety Feet from the album Something Like That, and you're listening to Backstage Jazz. guest today is musician and composer Reid Poole, and we're talking about his music, and he sent over some great tracks for us to share with our listeners. Up next, I've got T for Two from the New Orleans Run album. What would you like to add about that, Reid?
Yeah, this is off of our latest album. We just recorded this last year and released it this year, and it's this next one is called T for Two, and I'm singing on this one, and I also have a good friend and also another Colorado native, Gina Leslie, singing there with me. It also features a really incredible piano solo. But yeah, this was a fun, swinging number that we did on our album. But I will say on the album, there's lots of funky numbers and some traditional numbers. There's an array of styles on this newest album, but this is one of the cool and super swing. And check out the piano break. I think everybody should enjoy this track.
All right. Great intro, Reid. Let's listen to T for Two here now on Backstage Jazz.
Picture you upon my knee, just T for two and two for T. Me for you and you for me alone. No one is near us to see us or hear us. No friends or relations on weekend vacations. They don't have to know that we have a telephone, dear. Day will break and we will wake, and you will bake a sugar cake for me to take, for all the boys to see. We will raise a family, a boy for you, a girl for me. Oh, can't you see how happy we would be?
This is Backstage Jazz. My guest today is trumpeter, bandleader, musician, composer Reid Poole. In our early communications, you mentioned that you're working on a new project too, a new album.
I just moved back to Colorado about, 4 months ago, but I have been afforded the opportunity to work with some of my mentors and best friends that have also moved away and come back to the area. That's why we're called the Front Range Six. This band it involves Ricky Swim, who's a mentor and an incredible tenor saxophone player, plays for the Falconaires, and then Jamie Parker in the front line. And he's also a Falconaire, and we go way back, all from different storylines. Laying the foundation, we have Matt Smiley, who is a longtime friend and music brother, and then also Alejandro Castaños playing the drums, and he's super swinging. And finally, playing piano with longtime brother and friend of mine, Steve Denny, who spent a lot of time in New York and is actually releasing a Christmas album very soon. So keep your ears out for that.
All right. And so this new album project, when can we look forward to that?
We've been collecting the music and rehearsing. I am still learning about recording studios in the area. So that is something to be seen. And probably in the next couple of months, we'll have rehearsals and a recording session.
Great. Something to look forward to. Yeah, some of the people that you mentioned, I guess, are going to be joining you at Dazzle on November 8th. What can our listeners and fans look forward to at the show?
Yeah, you can look forward to some of the great music of Louis Armstrong. I'm a huge Louis Armstrong head, so I specifically love the hard swinging music from the 1950s and 60s that his all-star band played. So we're going to play some hits from that. And also we'll be playing music off of the newly released album that features a lot of funky numbers and an array of tunes. But otherwise, yeah, you can expect the New Orleans songbook and just incredible musicians. I'll be singing, Jamie Parker will be singing, and Matt Smiley will be singing too, because that's a big part of the New Orleans culture, is to sing these songs before you actually play them. So yeah, so we're doing our part. Everybody's playing their part, and we even have people singing for you, musicians, horn players, and the bass player.
Sounds like a fun evening of music.
Absolutely.
Where's the best place I can send our listeners to find your music and show schedule?
If you go to www.reidpoole.com, ReidPoole, you can find my show schedule, and you can usually find the links to all the bands that I perform in or lead. Also, if you want a direct link, go to dinosaurorchestra.bandcamp.com and you can peruse. We have over 6 or 7 albums there that you can check out and stream. Also, some of our later albums you can find on Spotify. The newest one will be released in a couple months via Spotify, iTunes, etc.
I'll put links in the show notes so folks can just click on those websites you mentioned and go right to it.
Great, thank you.
And just a reminder for our listeners, Reid Poole's Front Range 6 will appear at Dazzle on Wednesday, November 8th. Showtime is 6:30, doors open at 5:30. It's good to get there early, too. I find you get a good seat, order some food, some drinks, and get in the mood for a great evening at music. You can find tickets at dazzledenver.com. Thanks for your time today, Reid, and have a great show at Dazzle.
Hey, thanks, Steve. We'll see you there.
If you're enjoying the Backstage Jazz Show, we'd love for you to like, subscribe, and leave a review on Apple Podcasts. And now, back to the show.
The Backstage Jazz Show was recorded at Little Raven Studios in downtown Denver, and our producer was Craig Stevens. You can find Backstage Jazz wherever you listen to podcasts. Be sure to stop by our website, backstage-jazz.com, where all past and current episodes have been archived. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, you can email us at backstagejazz@fastmail.com. This is Steve Roby. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on Backstage Jazz.
You've been listening to the Backstage Jazz Show. Join us next time for more great jazz and interviews with your favorite musicians.